is the Freedom Farm. Here we planted hundreds of thousands of seeds, and we planted them in August last year. There are very few survivors. You can see they're coming up. They're mixed in here randomly all throughout the field. These are budding up. Those are the black-eyed Susans. Got some of the Shastas. And they're all mixed in here randomly. They look a lot like goldenrod. What happened last year was, because we planted so late, they came up, they started to bud, and it froze. They died before they were able to reproduce. A few of them did. You can see them in here randomly. There's a couple of them that are coming up that are reproducing, but for the most part they did not get to propagate, and they're gone forever. This is really good soil up here. As we work it more and more and get the right seeds and the right flowers in here, they will all start to come up. Bachelor buttons. You want an easy thing to grow? There you go. These are neat. They're blue, which very, very few flowers are. And then up here, these are pink. So there are some survivors in here. A lot of them waited because they got tilled under in the soil. They waited to come up. This soil is different from the top of Dill Hill. If you dig in here and look, it does have a lot of organic material in it, but you go down about 2 inches and it's that hard packed clay. So the seeds that are in the ground here haven't dried out yet, and because we disked them, they're probably about 6 inches deep. So they are going to take forever to come up, and the ones that have come up are real small right now. Over here is a patch. Here's one. Here's another one. Here's another one. And another one. As you can see, they're about 6 inches tall. I just put the packet there so I could find it again. And then over here, these are different. This one here is starting to form a little bud. Same with this one and this one. And it seems like anywhere there are 3 or 4 of them, within 2 or 3 feet, you start seeing more and more. They're in small patches, but for the most part, a lot of stuff did not make it back. This section over here, we're starting to get into where we planted a bunch of herbs. They have a different smell. You can see this is that decorative stuff that's up at the Peace Farm that flowers red. And there's some funky ones coming up in here. There's a bunch of this growing, and I have to look it up and find out what it is. It's an herb, and it smells really good. It looks like something you might possibly be able to make a tea out of. I'm not quite sure. We're going to look that one up. Again, what we've been doing is looking for survivors. They are in here. Some of the stuff did reseed. We planted a lot of annuals, and the goal was that we were going to save the seeds from all the annuals and then plant them all over Johnsonburg area. Well, they're gone. They died. And what we have left are pretty few and far between. But they will have a whole season this year, and they will get to reseed, so they will come back yesterday. They will come back next year twice as strong. Now over here onto the farm, This whole section here last year was radishes, beets, and lettuces that all came up really strong, really aggressively, and then that September frost killed them. So this whole section should be loaded with radishes and beets down in through here, and we haven't been able to find any. Once again, they froze before they got to reproduce. Now this was all plowed a couple months ago and disked and tilled. And this is the Freedom Farm. This is really good dirt out here. The problem we have, you can see, it's that fluffy, nice brown. This is good stuff. Anything will grow in this. We don't have to add any lime or fertilizer or anything. We can, but it's really not going to do us any good. This is ready to go. What we have to worry about now is how much time we have. These short growing seasons mean we need to find plants that can finish what they need to do in 60 days. Otherwise, they're going to freeze, and it's a waste of time. These weeds are not very destructive in here. These are just grasses. Actually, some of the flower seeds look like they flew over here and are getting established over here pretty well. It's really good fluffy dirt. I'm going to be running the seeder down here in rows. Oh, this is good dirt. Oh, look at that. Whatever we put in here is going to grow like crazy, and we have to get it in the ground now. So this whole section over the next 2 days, we will be planting with the earthway seeder. I'm going to start here in a few minutes by doing an entire row along the tree line of squash, and then next to that an entire row of the radishes, and then I'm going to pick up some corn seeds from Beyondies, and we're going to do whole rows of field corn. And then we're going to keep working across this field with peas and beans and any other seeds we can get our hands on. And hopefully, because these trees kind of cut off about 2 hours of sunlight, what I'm hoping happens is it forces the plants to produce fruit ahead of time so they beat the frost. So this is really good, fluffy, perfect dirt. We're going to be planting. There is no need for soil samples. There's no need for fertilizer. There's no need for lime. This is the best dirt in the area. The flower field, on the other hand, there you get a lot of runoff. There is a lake and a pond up in there that runs off and down through that section. It was real muddy last year and real alkaline, so we were hoping the flowers would do well, but with the short seasons, they froze, and we planted too late. That's my fault. This year we're a month and a half ahead of schedule. This field was plowed and everything was worked 2 months ago. As you can see, for having been sit here for 2 months, it looks amazing. So I'm going to get started. This is the Freedom Farm.